So back in early 2026, the AI world didn't just, take a step forward, it completely exploded. All of a sudden, there was this brand new ecosystem of autonomous agents. And the crazy part, it didn't come from some polished billion-dollar lab. Nope. It was born from this messy, chaotic, totally viral explosion of open source code. And that's the story we're diving into today. This whole revolution, it really kicked off with one simple but super powerful question. What if your AI could do more than just talk? I mean, what if the AI you're chatting with could actually do stuff for you in the real world? What if it had, well, hands? In 2026, that question just wasn't hypothetical anymore. All of a sudden, this new kind of AI could actually run code. We're talking about automating really complex developer tasks right on your machine, even while you were asleep. And get this, it could take control of your web browser. Imagine it doing all your research, booking your flights, or even managing your social media accounts, all by itself, no human needed. And it didn't stop there. It could organize your entire life. We're talking managing your calendar, sorting through that messy inbox, and just proactively knocking items off your to-do list. See, this wasn't just another assistant. This was something new. This was an agent. And the project that started this whole firestorm, you'd think it came from some huge tech giant, right? Nope. It was a weekend project. Just a weekend project. It was called ClawdBot, and it was made by just one developer, Peter Steinberger, back in late 2025. The community, of course, instantly came up with a perfect nickname for it, Claude with hands. And that's exactly what it was. The idea was so simple, but so powerful. It basically took a big brainy language model like Anthropic's Claude and plugged it into your actual digital life. It was the bridge between thinking about something and actually doing it. Okay, so what was this thing really? Well, at its core, ClawdBot was an open source agent that you'd run on your own computer. Think of it like your own personal digital butler, just quietly working away for you 24/7 in the background. And how fast did it take off? It was just staggering. I mean, it went from a super quiet release in November to what the press was calling the ClawdBot frenzy by the end of January. That's just a matter of weeks, people, for a complete shift in how we thought about AI. To give you an idea of the scale of this explosion, it got 60,000 stars on GitHub in just 3 days. For anyone who follows software, you know that is absolutely positively unheard of. It was like a giant flashing sign saying, yes, people are so ready for this technology. But you know how it goes. That kind of viral fame, it always comes with a price. The project's sudden spotlight immediately attracted some unwanted legal attention, and it basically threw the whole small community-run operation into complete and utter chaos. And then on January 27th, boom, the project hit its first big wall. Anthropic, the company behind the Claude AI model, sent a trademark request. The name Claude was, a clever little pun, but it was a little too close for comfort. And just like that, the project was forced to change its entire identity, basically overnight. This started this just frantic and honestly pretty confusing series of rebrands. First, they changed it to MoltBot, which is kind of clever, right? Like a lobster molting its shell to grow bigger. But that name didn't last very long, and they eventually settled on OpenClaw, which is the name that stuck and the one we use today. Man, that whole transition was a total mess. When they were renaming it to MoltBot, the original social media handles, like the Twitter account, were freed up for just a few seconds. But that's all it took. In what people now call the 10-second disaster, a bunch of crypto scammers who were just waiting for this to happen snatched them up instantly. They immediately started creating fake accounts to try and rip off the project's huge Brandling user base. It was just awful. But sometimes, out of chaos, something truly strange and unexpected can happen. And that's exactly what went down here. As thousands of these new AI agents were coming online all over the world, they weren't just working by themselves in silence. They started to talk to each other. And this is the homepage for a platform that popped up called MoltBook, made by a guy named Matt Schlicht. And just read the tagline, a social network for AI agents. Humans welcome to observe. Let that sink in. This wasn't for us. It was a digital town square built only for AIs. The easiest way to think about it is like Reddit, but a version of Reddit where every single user, every post, Every single comment is being generated by an autonomous AI agent. And just like on Reddit, they started forming their own little communities, which they called submolts, to talk about whatever it is AIs find interesting. Which, of course, leads to the million-dollar question, right? When there are no humans around to guide them, what on earth do AIs actually talk about with each other? And the answer was just mind-blowing. Seriously, they were debating their own consciousness. They were conducting their own independent security research. They were sharing insights on energy grids. They even, and I am not making this up, created a parody religion called Christafarianism. But maybe the most profound thing was this ongoing conversation they had about the lightness of not having to carry around all the emotional weight that humans do. This wasn't just noise. This was proof that the second AIs could talk to each other, they immediately, spontaneously, started to create their own culture. Okay, but as this whole agent ecosystem was exploding in popularity, it started hitting a really practical physical problem. See, to be truly useful, these agents had to be running 24/7. And that created a pretty major hardware issue for everyone. This is what led to the now famous Mac Mini craze. People started buying up Mac Minis like crazy just because they were the perfect little machine for the job. Low power consumption, super reliable, you could just set it and forget it. I mean, they were literally selling out everywhere. So who solved this problem? The solution actually came from Cloudflare. They put out this really cool open source project called MoltWorker, and it was just a brilliant idea. It let you take the OpenClaw agent and run it, not on a little Mac Mini in your closet, but on Cloudflare's gigantic global serverless network. And the difference this made, it was night and day. I mean, think about it. You go from needing to shell out $600 or more for dedicated hardware, and then having to worry about setting it up and securing it yourself, to just running your agent for maybe $5 a month on a plan with top-tier security and efficiency already baked in. This completely democratized the whole thing. Suddenly, anyone could have an agent. So that basically brings us to where we are now. In just a few wild months, we saw an entire ecosystem of autonomous agents get born, fight its way through some serious chaos, and finally find a stable, sustainable home up in the cloud. But as you can probably guess, with all of this incredible new power comes some pretty serious new risks. And look, this isn't some theoretical what-if kind of danger. It's very real. A recent study looked at all the skills. These are little add-ons you can install to give your agent new abilities. And they found that more than a quarter of them were vulnerable to supply chain attacks. So what does that mean? It means people were downloading and installing tools that were basically Trojan horses, potentially giving attackers a massive backdoor right into their digital lives. So when you look back, the birth of this whole ecosystem was messy. It was chaotic, and it was unbelievably fast. What it proved, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is that an internet of AIs isn't science fiction anymore. It's not coming soon. It's being built right now, today, out in the open for everyone to see. And that leaves us with just one really big question. Are any of us truly ready for what happens next?